Understanding aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, the three pillars of photography. The art of photography is as much a science as it is an expression of creativity. Central to this delicate balance between science and art are the three pillars of photography: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. These critical elements work in tandem to control the exposure and quality of an image, offering photographers the tools they need to convey their vision effectively. Aperture refers to the opening in a camera lens through which light passes. It is analogous to the iris in the human eye, expanding and contracting to allow varying amounts of light to hit the camera's sensor. Measured in f-stops, a smaller f number indicates a larger aperture, e.g., f1.8, and allows more light to enter, while a larger f number denotes a smaller aperture, e.g., f16, letting in less light. Beyond light control, the aperture plays a crucial role in determining the depth of field in an image. A larger aperture, small f number, produces a shallower depth of field, resulting in a blurred background, often favored for portraits. Conversely, a smaller aperture, high f number, gives a deeper depth of field, rendering more of the scene in focus, a common choice for landscapes. Shutter speed, as its name implies, refers to the duration for which the camera's shutter remains open, allowing light to hit the sensor. Expressed in fractions of a second, e.g., 1/250th, or in whole seconds, e.g., 1 inch, 2 inches, a fast shutter speed, like 1/1000th, captures a brief moment in time, freezing fast-moving objects. In contrast, a slow shutter speed, like 1/4, allows for longer light exposure, capturing motion and producing a sense of movement or blur. Photographers use shutter speed creatively to capture various effects. For instance, fast shutter speeds can freeze the wings of a hummingbird in flight, while slow speeds can render flowing water as a silky, dreamlike motion. However, it's crucial to remember that using very slow shutter speeds without stabilization can introduce camera shake, leading to unintentionally blurred images. ISO measures the sensitivity of the camera's sensor to light. A lower ISO value, e.g., ISO 100, indicates lower sensitivity and is ideal for well-lit conditions to produce crisp, noise-free images. Higher ISO values, e.g., ISO 3200, on the other hand, boost the sensor sensitivity, allowing for photography in dimmer conditions without resorting to flash. The trade-off, however, is an increased graininess or noise in the image. Modern digital cameras have made significant strides in improving high ISO performance, allowing photographers greater flexibility to shoot in low light without compromising as much on image quality. The interplay and balance aperture, shutter speed, and ISO are intrinsically linked in what photographers often refer to as the exposure triangle. A change in one of these elements often necessitates an adjustment in another to achieve the desired exposure. For instance, if one selects a larger aperture to achieve a shallow depth of field, they might need to use a faster shutter speed or a lower ISO to ensure the image isn't overexposed. Achieving mastery in photography involves understanding how these elements interact and how to balance them to achieve the desired artistic result. Often, photographers might prioritize one element over the others, depending on their objective. For instance, a wildlife photographer might prioritize shutter speed to capture fast-moving animals, while a portrait photographer might focus on aperture to achieve beautiful bokeh, blurred backgrounds. Conclusion: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO represent the foundational elements of photography, governing the exposure and artistic essence of an image. Through their interplay, they offer photographers a range of creative possibilities, allowing for both technical precision and expressive freedom. Grasping the nuances of these three pillars is essential for both budding and seasoned photographers. While automatic modes on modern cameras can handle these settings proficiently, understanding and manipulating them manually provides photographers with the tools to elevate their work, giving them control over their artistic voice and the stories they wish to tell.